Contesting the Value of Creating Share Value by Andrew, Guido, Laura, and Ring. Hello, I'm Wanshin.
I am Rui.
I'm Shadway.
We are from Group 7. Today, we will be presenting some main takeaways after reading this article and sharing our thoughts regarding this concept of CSV. Just a brief overview, the authors of this article mentioned that, in general, the task of understanding firms as a multi-purpose venture remains as an unsolved issue, even after the in-depth research of the CSV concept. They even said that CSV seems promising, but the concept still failed to bring them one step closer toward the solution, and even took them further from resolving the issue. The authors argue that the reason behind was due to the shortcomings of the CSV. Before jumping into the topic of today, I think it is crucial for us to bring you through the general concept of CSV, including its purpose, strengths, and weaknesses that led the authors to make the statement. So, first thing first, let us understand what is CSV and what is the purpose of it. According to Porter and Kammer, CSV proposes to transform social problems that are relevant to the corporation into business opportunities, thereby contributing to the solving of critical societal challenges while driving greater profitability. In short, CSV aims to reconceive products by seeking out social problems where serving consumers and contributing to the common good is possible to be parallel. Secondly, redefining productivity in the value chain by simultaneously enhancing the social, environmental, and economic capabilities of supply chain members. The last method of creating a share value is enabling local cluster development to enable various developmental goals can be achieved in cooperation with suppliers and local institutions. These three ways of creating a share value seems to be easy to understand. However, it is important to break its strengths and weaknesses down before reaching to a conclusion that the concept is actually useful and adoptable.
In the article, the author mentioned that the share value concept appears to have several strengths. Firstly, due to the explicit endorsement by Michael Porter, the world's best-known business strategist, CSV has gained the strength to successfully elevate social goals to a strategy level, which attract practitioners and scholars to focus more on social problems and putting more effort to solve them. This is because the elevation became a positive response to counter those that claim management scholars to have insufficient examination regarding the societal issue for corporate decision making by neglecting the perspective of common good. Nevertheless, CSV also provided a clear role for government in constructing regulation and enhancing share value. This includes setting clear and measurable social goals, setting performance standards, defining phase-in period for meeting standards, and putting the universal performance reporting system in place. Another strength is that CSV is offered as an umbrella construct which adds rigor to more integrated thinking about conscious capitalism and protect loose connected concepts, such as the intersection of business and social programs. In general, the author concludes that this strength of CSV as offering some promise for more integrated thinking. In contrast, the CSV concept was found to be eroded by its weaknesses. Firstly, the share value concept is lacking novelty. This can be said so because Porter and Kammer had the aim of replacing CSR with CSV. However, by doing so, they conferred the impression that CSR is only regarded as bolt-on philanthropy by defining CSR as a strategy separated from profit maximization, which can be said as a disingenuous approach. This is because the intention was to somehow convince people to believe that CSV is going to be a built-in to core strategy instead. Even though CSV is seeking for a win-win situation through its strategies that create both economics and social value, but the downside is that CSV is ignoring all kinds of trade-off and guidance are limited and narrow. Hence, not all stakeholders will be aligned with the concept of CSV. To further elaborate, the CSV seems to be ignoring a well-developed workstream around creating value within the stakeholders management literature. Businesses claim that the characterization of CSV is about creating economics and social value by addressing its needs and challenges. This is found to be similar to the stakeholders' principles and practices that could achieve corporate performance objective standards or even better than rival approaches. Therefore, businesses will remain committed to CSR instead of CSV. Other than that, CSV requires businesses to shift from creating demand to designing goods products that could satisfy the needs of customers. The CSV concept was addressed too shallowly to the extent where it hides the complexity of value chain. It is important for businesses to note that although the introduction of new product could benefit both the company and society, but the company will be required to spend a lot of money on research and development, production and promotion before introducing a new product into the society. This action involves risk of getting low demand, which leads to making a loss. In this case, companies are more likely to prefer exercising CSR that has lower risk instead of CSV that involves higher risk. Last but not least, CSV is naive about the challenges of business compliance. Prode and Karma were applying their wishful thinking into CSV by ignoring external factors. These include the government laws and regulation. For instance, companies that blindly follow the CSV concept might go against law. Through reporting lesser sales amount and paying lesser company tax in order to increase the profit earned, this increases the risk of getting caught. Hence, CSR is more preferable compared to CSV.
The first issue raised is that the CSV concept is innocent as it promotes the idea of achieving both economic and social value at the same time without taking into account the trade-off between social and economic goals. It is important for businesses to be realistic. As an example, businesses will need to sacrifice part of their profit in achieving social goals, which is unfavorable towards the shareholders. Secondly, most of the businesses will cherry-pick the social goals to be achieved. This is because profit maximizing is always the main purpose of running a business. Hence, decision makers are more likely to pick social goals that are easy to be achieved for a win-win outcome. Businesses tend to escape from problems that require more attention, funds, and spirit. They tend to not realize that the social problems being ignored might cause serious consequences and the problem might require immediate action to be solved. Another problem raised from CSV is that this concept is yet to be matured as it ignores most of the external factors and is being interpreted in a shallow way. Having wishful thinking can be said as self-deception. Not providing professional in-depth guidance could harm new entrepreneurs, especially when the CSV concept made a great way into the academic management literature. It is believed that an immature concept should not be introduced into the business world as there are way too many things that have to be considered and covered before being applied. Due to the immaturity, it is possible for stakeholders and shareholders of the business to disagree with applying the concept, as it will affect the profitability and economic goals. The last issue that was found from adopting CSV is about legal and ethical issues. As mentioned just now, the concept is immature, and in order to achieve both economic and social goals at the same time, some decision makers might choose to adopt illegal and unethical approaches. This is because they might utilize the gray area of the concept and make full use of it. Even though gray area is not considered as being against the law, but the actions might falsely impact the stakeholders. Due to the shallow guidance given by Porter and Kammer, it made it difficult for any parties, such as the government or stakeholders, to take action that could stop them from doing so. In this case, the adoption of CSV has a great possibility in causing the society to have a negative impact, and this could not seem to be a good influence. To overcome those issues effectively, some ways are suggested. Firstly, it is recommended for businesses to focus more on social value instead of profit maximization. By doing so, businesses should focus on overcoming social problems and benefiting the society while maintaining a reasonable amount of profit instead of pursuing extraordinary high profit. Through this, the idea of achieving both economic and social goals will not be said as being innocent anymore. This is because the trade-off appears by foregoing the profit maximization objective. In order to avoid businesses putting too much weight on profitability and ignoring social problems, they can target to reach a reasonable profit level. Once they hit the profit level, then it's time for them to switch their focus to achieving social goals. Extra profit that exceeds the targeted profit level is recommended to be invested for the purpose of resolving social problems that arise. Once businesses start focusing on achieving social goals, it is recommended for businesses to list down some possible social problems separated into different levels in a hierarchy. This allows them to know the prioritized problem that they have to be focused on.
Moreover, as strategy accountants, it is recommended for businesses to focus more on serious social problems to avoid or minimize the cherry-pick phenomenon. Decision makers must always assume the worst-case scenario that will happen and plan for the solutions before implementing any strategies. It is also strongly suggested for businesses which are interested in adopting the CSV concept to seek for professional advice in order to ensure that the business taking into account several factors that are not guided by Porter and Kammer and making sure that the business has enough funds prepared for the unexpected. Having sufficient resources, knowledge, and skills is crucial before deciding to adopt any frameworks for favorable outcomes. Nevertheless, as strategy accountants, we should also have our own standpoint to not blindly follow clients' order if it is discovered that the business intended to apply CSV unethically and illegally. It is important to ensure that every decision made will minimize the harm put onto any stakeholders. Whenever discovering unethical or illegal approaches, we can suggest a different approach for businesses without eroding the aim of minimizing social problems. As an example, corporations that earn extraordinary profits might donate part of their profit to help the poverty segment survive. But through this way, the people in the poverty segment might blindly wait and ask for more money that's donated. An alternative way in helping the poverty segment is for businesses to create employment opportunities that could reduce their reliance on the money donated. and earn it themselves through their own hard work instead. This could help the business in achieving the ideal promoted in CSV by increasing the poverty's purchasing power, which overcomes the social problems and indirectly increases the corporation profitability at the same time. However, this might require a long duration to succeed and requires consideration about externalities.
To conclude, it is suggested for companies to exercise the share value concept, but only with the right purpose. This is because there were some successful examples that could be referred to. As an example, Nestle won the Company of the Year as it is recognized as having strong, sustained, and consistent financial performance as well as creating share value effort. Moreover, 90% of Nestle's main forestry commodities that Nestle purchases have been assessed as deforestation-free. This as of December 2020. Over the past 10 years, Nestle has been using a combination of tools such as supply chain mapping, risk assessment, certification, satellite monitoring, and on-the-ground verification to ensure they are not linked to deforestation. Next, Adidas managed to achieve higher profit at the same time successfully created job opportunities in developing countries. They manufacture low-cost shoes in Bangladesh and hire Bangladesh people, which improved the purchasing power of the people there and hence increased their own company profit. Last but not least, for Coca-Cola, they received the Plastic Resource Recycling Special Category Grand Prize at the 21st Green Purchasing Award after adopting CSV. By doing so, Coca-Cola implemented 100% recycled PET bottles, which reduced the waste of scarce resources, taking into account the social environment. Besides, Coca-Cola set a new goal of 20% female managers in 2030, as they had achieved the 2025 goal of 6% female managers in 2021. Coca-Cola is promoting initiatives to provide a workplace environment and support system to foster a CCGJH organizational culture where every employee can independently build a career where they can shine.
In our opinion, CSV is actually a concept that promotes how firms should cater the needs of societies. And CSV is actually a combination of several theories. So, it would be great if Porter and Kammer can bring CSV in using another way, such as acknowledging the facts that CSV is unoriginal and word things clearly by giving credits to the theories that actually existed. It would also be great if they could also include in-depth explanation and not simplifying the concept. This is because it may appear to be misleading. There are many things that Porter and Kammer could do to improve the concept of CSV and counter the weaknesses. We believe that CSV is actually a great concept as it takes into account social and profitability goals. And it is found that more and more companies have actually applied the concept of CSV. As the authors made a statement that CSV did not help in resolving the issue of understanding firm as a multi-purpose venture and bringing it even further from the solution, we think that this statement is somehow true because the concept itself is simplifying all the complex theories. To be honest, the first thing that came into our mind after reading the article is that we felt like the concept is too simple-minded and it gave us an impression that Porter and Kammer viewed the business world as a flawless fairy tale. Even though CSV is based on a shallow conception of the corporation's role in society, we believe that technology nowadays, especially Google, made it easy for people to look for pros and cons about different concepts. It will all depend on how the reader interprets and brainstorms all the information given, because everyone has different opinions and points of view. So, this is the end of our presentation, and here are our references. We hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for your time.